Introduction. Each of us is far more than flesh and bone. We are not limited to our thoughts, our names, or our circumstances. At the deepest level, we are expressions of infinite intelligence, luminous sparks of a greater consciousness that moves through everything. When you awaken to this truth, you discover that you are not a passive observer of life, but an active participant in the unfolding of creation. You are an instrument of the divine, capable of bringing light, healing, and meaning into the world simply by recognizing and living from your true essence. My friend, let me take you on a journey into the very essence of who you are. Every day you wake up and look in the mirror and see a reflection that you call yourself. You may identify with a name, a face, a body, a collection of memories and labels. But what if I told you that the truth of who you are goes infinitely deeper than that image staring back at you? What if I told you that beyond all the layers of personality and circumstance lies a radiant field of pure consciousness? And what if I told you that this consciousness is not separate from the divine, but is the divine itself expressing through you? When you pause to reflect, you begin to realize that life itself cannot be explained only by physical matter. The beating of your heart, the rise and fall of your breath, the spark of thought in your mind are not random events. They are orchestrations of something greater, something mysterious and infinite. Science can describe the mechanisms, but the mystery of existence remains untouched. You are not simply a collection of atoms, you are awareness itself animating this body. This awareness is timeless, and it is the same awareness that gives life to every living being. To recognize this is to take the first step into your own divinity. Think of the moments when you felt a sense of awe when watching a sunset or listening to music that touched your soul. In those moments time dissolved and something within you expanded. That expansion is not a fleeting trick of the brain, it is the whisper of the divine reminding you of your true nature. The mind tries to capture it with words, but the heart already knows it. You are not merely experiencing beauty, you are beauty itself reflected back to you. And when you see this, you begin to understand that your consciousness is not small, it is limitless. Throughout history, sages and mystics have spoken about the truth that consciousness is the foundation of all reality. They taught that the universe is not something outside of you, but something arising within your awareness. The stars, the oceans, the mountains, all of it is perceived and given meaning through the light of your consciousness. Without that awareness, nothing can be known. So when you begin to honor your awareness, you begin to honor the very force that gives existence to the world. This realization is not abstract, it is the most intimate discovery of your life. It is the realization that you are inseparable from the divine source. Most of us go through life forgetting this truth because we are distracted by the noise of the world. We become consumed with achievements, failures, possessions, and appearances, yet deep down a part of us longs for something more, something eternal. That longing is the call of your inner self reminding you of who you really are. When you stop chasing and start listening, you will find that everything you seek is already within you. The divine is not a distant presence. It is the silent witness of your every thought and action. It has been with you all along, waiting for you to remember. Imagine a musician holding an instrument. The beauty of the music does not come from the wood or the strings alone, but from the life of the player flowing through it. In the same way, your body and mind are instruments, and your consciousness is the divine musician. When you recognize this, you stop identifying with the instrument and start identifying with the source. This is the moment your life begins to shift from limitation to possibility. You no longer see yourself as a fragment, but as a channel of infinite intelligence. From this awareness, life begins to flow with harmony and grace. The journey of self-recognition is not always easy because the mind resists it. The ego thrives on separation and clings to identity, roles, and stories. But awareness is deeper than the ego. It is the space in which all stories arise. To rest in awareness is to discover freedom from fear and doubt. Fear loses its grip because you understand that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal has power. Doubt dissolves because you know that the divine flows through you in every moment. In this freedom, you awaken to the truth that you are infinite. When you begin to see yourself as consciousness itself, your perspective on life changes. Challenges no longer appear as punishments, but as opportunities for growth. Pain becomes a teacher and joy becomes a reminder of your wholeness. You begin to trust life because you know that it arises from the same source that you are. The separation between you and the world starts to dissolve. You no longer see others as strangers, but as reflections of the same consciousness expressing in different forms. This realization is the foundation of compassion and love. Recognizing your inner divinity is not about escaping the world, but about engaging with it in a higher way. When you live from this awareness, every action becomes sacred. A simple smile becomes an act of healing. A kind word becomes a ripple of transformation. You are not here to struggle endlessly, but to awaken and express the infinite potential within you. Life is not random, it is purposeful, and that purpose unfolds as you live in alignment with your true essence. This is the beginning of a life that feels whole, radiant, and divine. So I invite you now to pause and look within. Close your eyes and notice the presence that is aware of your thoughts and feelings. That presence does not come and go. It is constant, unchanging, and eternal. It has witnessed every moment of your life without judgment. It is not limited by age or circumstance. That presence is the divine within you, and it is your truest identity. When you embrace it fully, you will never again doubt your worth or your purpose. You will know beyond words that you are an instrument of the divine. And that is why today and every day you must remember who you are. You are not a drop lost in the ocean. You are the entire ocean expressed in a drop. You are not a flicker. You are the eternal flame. You are not separate from the divine. You are the divine in motion. So walk forward with this truth burning in your heart and let it shape every thought, every word, and every action. The world is waiting for you to remember and to shine, and the divine is playing its music through you right now. When you begin to recognize the divine presence within yourself, the next step is to align your thoughts, your words, and your actions with that presence. Awareness is not complete until it expresses itself through the way you live each day. The power of alignment is that it transforms ordinary life into a sacred flow. When you act with love, compassion, and clarity, you become a living instrument of harmony. The divine expresses itself through your choices, through your relationships, and through the energy you bring into the world. This alignment is the foundation of true transformation. Every intention you hold carries energy, and that energy shapes the quality of your life. When your intentions are rooted in fear, competition, or resentment, they create dissonance within you. But when your intentions are rooted in love, kindness, and truth, they bring you into resonance with the universe itself. Alignment is not about perfection, it is about awareness in every moment. The universe is always listening and responding to the vibration you are sending. By choosing compassion over judgment, you begin to create ripples that touch every life around you. Think of the way a musician tunes an instrument before creating music. If one string is out of tune, the entire melody is affected. In the same way, if your thoughts or actions are misaligned with love, the song of your life loses harmony. But when you take time to align yourself through mindfulness, prayer, meditation, or silence, you tune your soul to the frequency of the divine. Then everything you touch begins to carry beauty and balance. Life itself becomes your music, and the world becomes your audience. Alignment is also about integrity, which means that what you think, what you say, and what you do must all point in the same direction. Many people live divided lives, saying one thing but doing another. This division creates inner conflict and disconnects you from your higher self. When you live in integrity, your presence becomes powerful without effort. People feel the truth in your words because your actions reflect them. The divine shines through you most clearly when there is no contradiction in your being. Compassion is the most natural expression of alignment with the divine. To be compassionate is to see yourself in another and to honor their humanity as your own. When you align with compassion, you no longer act from selfishness, but from a place of unity. You begin to see that every act of kindness heals not only the other person, but also yourself. Compassion requires courage because it asks you to remain open even in the face of hurt. Yet when you choose compassion again and again, you become a channel of healing in a divided world. Love is not something you chase, it is something you embody when you align with your divine essence. Love is not limited to romance or family, it is the very vibration of life itself. When you act from love, your presence alone uplifts and transforms. You do not need to wait for grand opportunities. Every small gesture of love becomes a sacred act. A smile, a gentle word, or a helping hand can change the energy of a room. Alignment with love is how you allow the divine to flow freely through you. Awareness is the key to alignment because without awareness you fall back into unconscious patterns. The mind can easily be pulled into fear, doubt, and negativity if left unattended. But when you cultivate awareness, you begin to notice the subtle choices you make every moment. You start to choose words that heal rather than words that wound. You start to take actions that create peace rather than conflict. This continuous awareness becomes your way of staying in harmony with the divine. Think about how water flows effortlessly around obstacles, finding its path without resistance. When you live in alignment, you become like water, flexible yet powerful, soft yet unstoppable. Life will still bring challenges, but you no longer resist them in fear. You allow them to guide you to growth because you trust the intelligence of the universe. Your alignment keeps you centered even in the storm. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What lesson is being revealed?" This is how alignment turns struggle into wisdom. When your thoughts and actions resonate with the divine, you also begin to influence others in profound ways. People feel the presence of alignment in your energy even without words. They are drawn to the peace you carry and the clarity you express. You become a light for those who are lost and a reminder for those who have forgotten their own essence. True leadership is not about authority, it is about alignment with higher truth. Through your example, others find their own path to alignment. Your life becomes a prayer when you live in alignment. Every breath, every step, every word is infused with purpose. Prayer is not limited to moments of silence, but becomes the way you live in constant awareness of the divine. Washing dishes can be prayer when done with love. Listening deeply can be prayer when done with compassion. Every act becomes an offering when you live in this awareness. This is the essence of being an instrument of the divine. To remain aligned requires daily practice because the world is full of distractions and noise. You may be tempted by fear or anger or by the pull of ego, but each time you return to love and awareness, you strengthen your connection. The more you practice, the easier alignment becomes until it flows naturally. Just as a dancer trains until movement becomes effortless, you can train your awareness until compassion and love become second nature. Then you no longer have to try to live aligned, you simply are aligned. Alignment also means surrender because the ego always wants control. To align with the divine, you must trust that life is unfolding as it should. Surrender does not mean giving up, it means letting go of resistance. It is the quiet confidence that the intelligence that created galaxies is guiding your steps. When you surrender, you release the need to force outcomes and instead open yourself to flow. In this surrender, you discover peace beyond understanding. The divine works through you most powerfully when you let go. As you deepen alignment, your relationships also transform. Conflict becomes an opportunity for compassion. Disagreement becomes a chance to practice understanding. Instead of reacting, you begin to respond from awareness. You listen more deeply and speak more truthfully. Others may not always understand your path, but they will feel the sincerity of your heart. And through your example, you inspire them to align with love as well. Alignment is contagious, and it ripples outward in ways you may never see. The world desperately needs people who live in alignment with the divine. Violence, hatred, and division arise when human beings forget their true nature. But when even one person chooses love over fear, the vibration of the whole planet is lifted. Imagine millions of people living in alignment, each one becoming a beacon of light. Wars would lose their meaning, conflicts would dissolve, and humanity would awaken to unity. This vision begins with you aligning your own life here and now. Do not underestimate the power of your alignment. You may think your life is small, but every act of compassion ripples into infinity. The smile you give a stranger may save them from despair. The forgiveness you offer may heal a broken heart. The kindness you show yourself may inspire someone else to love themselves too. You are not separate from the whole, you are a vital part of it, and the divine uses your alignment as a way to heal and uplift the world. Your journey is not about becoming something new, but about remembering what you already are. You were born aligned with love and truth, but the world conditioned you to forget. Now is the time to return to that original purity. Every practice of awareness, every choice of compassion, every act of love is a step back into your essence. With each step, the divine shines brighter through you, and with each step you become more of the instrument you were meant to be. So my invitation to you is to live in this alignment every single day. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is always now. In every choice, ask yourself, does this reflect love? Does this reflect compassion? Does this reflect awareness? If the answer is yes, then you are in harmony with the divine, and as you continue to live this way, your life will become a song of grace. That song will heal you, and it will heal the world. Walk forward with clarity and with courage, knowing that you are already connected to the source of infinite wisdom. Let your alignment guide you through the storms and into the light. Do not seek perfection, seek sincerity. Let love be your compass, compassion be your path, and awareness be your constant companion. In this way, you will not only transform your own life, but you will become a force of transformation for the entire world. This is the gift of alignment, and this is the call of your soul. Purpose is one of the deepest questions every human being carries within. We often ask ourselves, why am I here? What am I meant to do? And how do I make my life meaningful? For many, this search feels endless, as if purpose is some hidden treasure that must be found after years of struggle. But the truth is that purpose is not something you chase. It is something that reveals itself when you live in connection with your divine essence. It unfolds naturally like a flower blooming in the sunlight. You do not force a flower to bloom, you simply nurture it and trust the process. When you remember that you are an instrument of the divine, you begin to realize that your purpose is not separate from your being. You are not here by accident or coincidence. You are here with a sacred intention woven into the fabric of existence. Every breath you take and every step you walk is already part of that purpose. The more you connect to your inner awareness, the more clearly you begin to sense it. It is not always about what career you choose or what goals you achieve, but about the energy you embody and share. Purpose is revealed in the way you live. Many people spend their lives searching outside themselves for meaning in possessions, in status, or in recognition. Yet when they reach those milestones, they often feel empty again. That is because true purpose does not come from outside, it comes from within. It arises when you align with love and awareness and let them guide your choices. Your purpose is not defined by how much you accumulate, but by how much you awaken to your true self. The divine expresses itself through you when you live authentically. That authenticity is your greatest gift. Think of purpose as a river flowing through your life. If you fight the current or try to control its direction, you exhaust yourself and lose your way. But if you trust the flow and allow yourself to move with it, the river naturally carries you where you are meant to go. In the same way, when you release the need to control every detail and trust your inner guidance, your purpose carries you forward. It may not always be clear at the beginning, but as you walk the path, the next step always reveals itself. Purpose is a journey, not a destination. Living with purpose means recognizing that every experience you encounter has meaning. Even your challenges and struggles are part of shaping your unique path. Pain often awakens wisdom, and obstacles build strength and resilience. When you see difficulties through the lens of purpose, you no longer view them as punishments but as teachers. They guide you closer to your authentic self and prepare you to serve others in ways only you can. Your story, including its darkest chapters, becomes part of your divine gift. Purpose is born through both light and shadow. You do not need to wait for some grand sign to tell you your purpose. It is revealed in the small acts of love and service you bring to each day. When you listen deeply to a friend, when you comfort a child, when you extend kindness to a stranger, you are already living your purpose. Every act rooted in love is a thread in the tapestry of your life mission. As you continue to live this way, your greater purpose naturally unfolds. It is less about doing more and more about being true to what already flows through you. The greatest trap in the search for purpose is comparison. We look at others and imagine their lives have more meaning because they are more visible or more celebrated. But the divine does not measure purpose by fame or recognition. A quiet act of love carries as much weight as the most public achievement. The seed of your purpose is unique to you and cannot be compared with anyone else. When you embrace this truth, you free yourself from envy and competition. You step into the fullness of your own sacred journey. Living in purpose requires listening to the still voice within. The noise of the world often drowns it out with demands and distractions. Yet when you give yourself moments of silence, you begin to hear the whisper of your soul. It may not shout, but it always speaks with clarity and peace. That inner guidance will never lead you astray because it comes from the divine source itself. The more you practice listening, the clearer the guidance becomes. And as you follow it, your life naturally aligns with purpose. Sometimes people believe that purpose must be something extraordinary, like changing the world in massive ways. But the truth is, the extraordinary is hidden in the ordinary. Raising a family with love can be purpose. Creating art that inspires one person can be purpose. Planting a tree that offers shade to future generations can be purpose. What matters is not the scale, but the sincerity. When you bring your whole heart to what you do, you are already fulfilling your divine role. Purpose is not about size, it is about depth. Your purpose is also not static, it grows as you grow. At different stages of life, it may take on different expressions, but the core remains the same. In childhood, it may reveal itself as curiosity, in adulthood as contribution, and in later years as wisdom. Each stage is important and carries its own gift. When you understand this, you no longer fear change because you see that purpose is evolving with you. You are never lost, you are simply unfolding into the next chapter. Life itself is the journey of purpose. The world is filled with people who wander without a sense of direction because they have forgotten who they are. When you live with purpose, you become a light that helps others remember. Your presence becomes a silent reminder that life is meaningful and sacred. Without preaching or convincing, you inspire through the way you live. This is the most powerful way to serve because it touches hearts beyond words. When you embody your purpose, you awaken the purpose of others. Purpose calls forth more purpose. Fear often tries to hold you back from living your purpose. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. But when you know that your purpose is divine, you also know that it cannot fail. Every step is part of its unfolding, even if the outcome is not what you imagined. The divine does not measure success the way the world does. Success in divine terms is living in alignment with love and truth. When you let go of fear, you allow your purpose to shine without restriction. When you embrace purpose, you also embrace responsibility. You realize that your gifts are not just for you, they are for the whole. The wisdom you gain, the love you share, the creativity you express all contribute to the healing of humanity. Living with purpose means offering yourself as a vessel for the divine to flow through. It is not a burden but a joy because giving fulfills the deepest part of your being. You discover that the more you give, the more you are filled. Purpose is the cycle of giving and receiving. One of the most beautiful aspects of living your purpose is the sense of peace it brings. No matter what circumstances you face, there is an inner knowing that you are where you are meant to be. Even in uncertainty, you feel guided. Even in difficulty, you feel supported. Purpose does not remove all challenges, but it gives them meaning. It allows you to walk with courage because you trust the greater plan. This peace is a gift that radiates to everyone around you. Living in purpose also brings joy because it connects you with the deepest flow of life. Joy is not dependent on circumstances when you are aligned with your essence. It arises naturally because you are living in truth. Joy is the song of the soul when it knows it is fulfilling its role. You begin to see beauty in the simplest things, and gratitude becomes your natural state. This joy is contagious and it uplifts everyone you encounter. Joy is the fragrance of purpose fulfilled. Your purpose will sometimes lead you into unknown territory, and that is where faith becomes essential. Faith is trusting that the path is unfolding even when you cannot see the end. It is stepping forward with courage because you know the divine walks with you. Each time you act with faith, your purpose deepens and expands. Fear may still whisper, but faith speaks louder, and with every step you take, you strengthen the bridge between your soul and the divine plan. Purpose also reveals itself through service. The more you give yourself in love, the clearer your role becomes. Service is not about losing yourself, but about discovering the fullness of yourself in connection with others. When you help heal, lift, or inspire someone, you touch eternity. Your service may not always be visible, but it always matters. Each act of service is a doorway through which the divine enters the world. Purpose finds its voice in service. As you live with purpose, you begin to experience synchronicity, moments when life seems to arrange itself perfectly. Opportunities appear at the right time. People enter your path with the right message. Doors open with ease. These are not accidents, they are signs that you are in harmony with the flow of the universe. The more you align with your essence, the more these synchronicities multiply. They remind you that the divine is always guiding you. Living in purpose means living in partnership with that guidance. Remember that your purpose is not limited to a single role or achievement. It is the essence of who you are, expressed through many forms. It is the love you share, the truth you live, and the presence you bring. No matter where you are or what you do, you can live your purpose right now. You do not need to wait. You do not need permission. You simply need to be who you truly are. That is the greatest contribution you can ever make. So let me remind you once more that your purpose is not outside you, it is within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Do not chase it in the distance, but awaken to it here and now. Live with love, live with compassion, live with awareness, and your purpose will unfold naturally. Trust the flow and embrace the journey with courage. Let every moment become an expression of the divine within you. And through your life let the music of your true purpose be heard. And your purpose is to remember and to embody the divine that you already are. My beloved friends, as we reach this moment, let us pause and feel the truth that has been unfolding within us. You are not separate from the source of life. You are the very expression of it. You are the awareness behind every thought, the love behind every action, and the presence that gives meaning to the world. When you recognize this truth, when you align your intentions with compassion, and when you allow your purpose to unfold naturally, you become an instrument of the divine. You begin to live not in fragments, but in wholeness, not in fear, but in love, not in confusion, but in clarity. This is the gift and the calling of your life. So step forward with courage and humility, knowing that every breath is sacred and every choice is an opportunity to express the infinite. Carry this awareness with you into your family, into your work, and into the world. Let your presence heal, let your words uplift, and let your actions bring light wherever there is darkness. Do not wait for another day, because the divine is ready to move through you now. You are the voice, the hands, and the heart of the universe in motion, and when you live with this truth, every moment of your life becomes a song of eternity.